Okay, let's dive straight into it. The YouTube scene in 2025, it feels, well, incredibly packed. We're talking, what, something like 500 hours of video going up every single minute? How do you even start to get noticed?
It's a huge mountain to climb, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And that pressure, it definitely pushes creators to look for, well, maybe shortcuts or catalysts, let's say. Our sources today really focus on one specific route people get curious about, buying YouTube likes.
Yeah, exactly what we're digging into based on this material is buying likes actually, a workable strategy now in 2025? And if maybe it is, how on earth do you do it safely, effectively? The sources we have cover the why likes even matter, the risks, which sound pretty serious, and actual strategies, even looking at providers out there like rapidboost.net, for example, which pops up as offering instant social media growth, YouTube included.
Right. So first things first, why the big deal about likes? The sources talk about this thing they call the double power of likes.
Okay, double power. What's that breakdown to?
It's basically two key things. First, you've got social proof. Simple idea, really. When you, as a viewer, see a video with loads of likes, it's like a signal, right? It says, hey, others watched this and liked it, probably decent. Builds that instant credibility.
Ah, like seeing a busy cafe versus an empty one, you assume the busy one's better?
Exactly that. It plays into that bandwagon effect, especially for newer channels. Helps get over that initial hurdle, that trust barrier someone might have with a creator they don't know. If your video's already got some likes showing, people are just, they're more likely to click, watch longer, maybe even like it themselves.
Okay, that's the social proof part. What's the second element of this double power?
That's the algorithmic clout. YouTube system, its recommendation engine. It really looks at engagement, likes, comments, shares, how long people watch. A video racking up likes sends a signal to the algorithm saying, hey, people are digging this content.
And I think I saw a number in the sources linked to that, something about the first few days being critical.
That's the one. The material highlights that videos getting above average engagement, especially in that make or break first 72 hours, have something like a 45% better shot at being recommended by YouTube, getting that early momentum organically. That's incredibly tough when it's so crowded.
So the idea presented in the sources is if you do it carefully, strategically, using some purchase likes could potentially, maybe, jumpstart that signal, both for viewers and the algorithm, making your stuff more visible, maybe attracting actual viewers and subs. Like a catalyst, you said, not the whole solution.
Precisely. And yeah, it's a big but. The sources are super clear about the risks involved, the number one danger they point to. Getting tangled up with shady vendors using bot farms.
Bot farms. Yeah, that sounds like exactly what you don't want.
Absolutely. These places just flood your video with fake likes from automated accounts, maybe inactive ones. It's worse than just wasting money. It actually puts your channel in jeopardy. YouTube's detection systems, they're built to spot this kind of artificial activity.
And the sources had some data on that too, didn't they? About YouTube getting stricter.
They did. Pointed to Google's own transparency report.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a 27% rise in account terminations, specifically for artificial engagement between 2022 and 2024. YouTube isn't messing around.
Oh, 27%. That's a serious jump. Really hammers home the danger. So using bots could just mean the likes vanish, or it could mean actual penalties, even losing your whole channel.
That's the worst case scenario, yeah.
Yeah.
And the sources stress it's a genuine risk if you're not incredibly careful about who you buy from.
Okay, so avoiding the bad apples is priority one. How does the material suggest you tell a legit provider from a scammy one? What's the detective work involved?
The sources give us kind of checklist. First up, transparency. Look closely at their website. Do they actually explain how they get the likes? Real users. Bots. Is it clear? Do they have proper refund policies? Guarantees? Vagueness is a big red flag.
Makes sense. What else? Beyond their own site?
You absolutely have to look for outside opinions. Check independent review sites, community forums. Reddit can be great for this. Subreddits about YouTube growth. You find real creators sharing real experiences, good and bad. Oh, and test their customer support. Send them a question. Are they quick?
Wow.
Professional. Good support usually means a more legitimate operation.
And the sources mentioned a way to sort of dip your toe in without much risk.
Essential step, yeah. A decent provider should let you start really small.
Yeah.
Like 50 likes, maybe 200, just a small test order. That lets you see firsthand how they deliver, the speed, whether the likes actually stick around before you spend any serious money. It's just a practical way to check their claims.
Right, so you've done the research, found someone who looks okay, maybe run that small test. What are the actual strategies the sources talk about for buying likes safely, in 2025? How do you make it work?
The main thing, the absolute key strategy mentioned, is Don't just buy likes and expect magic. It has to be part of a bigger picture, a blend of paid and organic effort.
Kind of like using the bot likes as the initial spark, but you still need to add the real fuel yourself.
Exactly like that. The sources are clear. The channels that seem to benefit aren't just buying numbers and stopping. They use that initial boost, that manufactured engagement, as a springboard. But they do it alongside consistent organic work, promoting on other social media, using community posts, making shorts, doing live streams, actually talking to people in the comments. That mix makes the growth look much more natural.
Yeah, that feels intuitive. What's the second big strategy mentioned?
The drip feed method. This is crucial. The sources warn hard against getting, like, 10,000 likes dumped on your video in an hour. That just screams fake. Good, reputable services will offer gradual delivery. It'll spread those likes out over hours, maybe even days.
To make it look more like how real engagement actually happens over time.
Precisely. That massively cuts down the risk of getting flagged by YouTube. Some of the more advanced providers might even let you target, likes from specific places like the UK or the US if your audience is mainly there.
Okay, and did the sources list specific features you should actively look for in a provider, things that support these safer strategies?
Yes, definitely. You want to look for descriptions like real user networks or authentic likes, active user community. Likes from actual people are much less likely to disappear than bot likes. Also, check for those incremental delivery options. Can you customize the schedule? Choose the speed, like 50 likes a day, something like that.
And being clear about what happens after you buy.
Super important. What's their policy if likes drop off? Do they offer refunds, refills? The better providers often guarantee they'll top up likes if they decrease. But you need to read the fine print. See how clear those terms are. And finally, privacy and support. A legit service will never need your YouTube password, ever. Just the video link. Look for secure websites, HTTPS, and responsive support that doesn't ask for sensitive info. The sources mention providers like rapidboost.net as examples trying to hit these marks. Real users, drip feed, guarantees.
Okay, so let's boil it down. The critical do's and don'ts, according to the Marial.
Right, the do's. Definitely start small, test things out, absolutely mix any paid activity with real organic promotion. And crucially, pair any boost with genuinely good content people actually want to watch.
And the big don'ts. What should you absolutely avoid?
Don't get suckered in by promises of huge numbers delivered instantly. That's a major red flag. Never, ever share your YouTube login details with anyone. And don't just buy likes and walk away. You have to keep engaging with your audience, responding to comments, using community features.
That last one feels really key. Likes might bring eyeballs, sure, but they don't automatically create loyal fans or subscribers, right?
Yeah.
How do the sources suggest creators focus on keeping viewers after that initial boost? Retention.
Yeah, the material really stresses that, turning eyeballs into engaged viewers. Strategies mentioned include using pinned comments effectively. Maybe ask a question there to get discussion going. Asking questions in the video itself works too, prompting comments. And making smart use of end screens and cards to point viewers towards other videos or that subscribe button.
There was that case study, Emily's cooking series, that seemed to illustrate this point really well in the sources.
It really did. The story goes, she used purchased likes, maybe from a service like rapidboost.net, for a Q&A video. The source noted it apparently tripled the click-through rate initially for that specific video. But here's the key part. She didn't stop there. She actively engaged with the new viewers who showed up, asked them stuff like their favorite ingredients, replied to comments constantly, invited them to live cooking sessions.
And that interaction, that community building, that's what turned the initial visibility into actual organic subscriber growth.
Exactly. It shows the bot likes were just step one, a tool to get more people to the content. The real lasting growth came from her building genuine connections with those people.
Okay, so let's say a creator has heard all this, they're thinking about it. What's the practical step-by-step process the sources lay out for trying this, safely?
It's pretty logical. Step one, research, research, research. Use those independent reviews, the forums like Reddit, YouTube we mentioned. Get a short list together, maybe 2 or 3 providers that seem credible.
Step 2, test. Do that small buy. 50, 100, 200 likes. On a recent video, maybe not your absolute top performer, but something current.
Step 3, monitor. This is vital. Dive into your YouTube analytics after the boost. Track everything, watch time, click-through rate, but especially, are you seeing any uptick in organic likes? Organic subscribers. Did the paid boost actually attract real, interested viewers?
Step 4, optimize. Look at those results from your test. Did it work? Did it align with your goals? Based on that, then decide if you want to scale up slightly. But non-negotiables, keep publishing great content and keep up all your organic promotion efforts.
And step 5, rinse and repeat, maybe. If the test went well, if it demonstrably helped your overall growth metrics, not just to count on one video, then you could consider integrating periodic, small strategic boosts into your regular content plan. Think of it as just one tool in your toolbox, not a magic wand.
Okay, so pulling it all together then, what's the final takeaway from the sources on buying YouTube likes here in 2025?
They seem to conclude it can be, potentially, a savvy shortcut, as they put it, in today's super competitive space. But only if, and it's a big another way, only if you approach it with extreme caution, focusing on safety, transparency, and fitting it into a wider strategy. They talk about playing by the new rules.
So definitely not positioned as some kind of guaranteed fix-all.
Not even close. The analogy used in the sources is pretty good. Think of paid likes as maybe lighting the initial spark, getting some attention. But it's your authentic content, your real interactions, your smart organic promotion. That's what actually keeps the fire going for sustainable long-term growth. And services like rapidboost.net are mentioned as examples trying to offer that initial spark within these new rules safely, affordably.
Right, so the potential is there perhaps to nudge the algorithm, attract some new eyes. But the real success, the lasting growth, it always comes back to that blend. Using the tools available, but doubling down on genuine connection, quality content, and community.
Exactly. It really leaves you, the creator, with that interesting challenge, doesn't it? How do you leverage these algorithmic signals effectively while still building those authentic human connections? That's the tightrope to walk.